Okay, guys, we are back with another video. Let's talk a little bit because some people, they have a lot of things about me wrong, so wrong, right? No, if you don't know, I've dragged Nicki Minaj before and I've dragged her husband, Kenneth Petty, at about what happened at the VMA Awards, what went down between Kenneth Petty and Cardi B and Offset. Kenneth Petty was right for defending his wife, but I didn't appreciate Kenneth Petty's behavior because Kenneth Petty knows that he's public enemy number one. No matter how right he is, he's gonna always be wrong, and that was definitely like a huge no-no for me. But critics believe that I hate Cardi B. I don't know where you guys or how you guys arrive by that conclusion. I speak the truth and I'm fair and I'm honest when it comes to Cardi B. When many people said that Cardi B's tour wasn't gonna do well, I said her tour is doing well as a matter of fact because she had a lot of ticket sales at the time. She had already sold out a few venues. And I said, considering the economy, considering that everyone is worried about a war that is coming, she is doing well. She is doing well, right? But the thing is, there will always be a difference between Cardi B and Nicki. No one can take that away from Nicki Minaj. No one can take that away from Cardi B. For me, Cardi B is the loosey-goosey. She's loosey-goosey. I'm not saying she's promiscuous. I'm saying she's loose. She's loose in her behavior. She's loose with her lips. She's very loose. But amidst all of that looseness, there's still a fun-loving young lady who works hard, who have made something of herself and became a part of the 1%. But Nicki, for me, will ever stand out, and Nicki will always have my respect, even when some of her decisions I don't agree with. She will always have my respect because Nicki Minaj reminds me of her upbringing as Caribbean woman, right? I've observed something about Nicki. Nicki has never released an album without some gospel or some prayer included. Nicki has never walked a day in her life in the industry without God. She has never, from start to finish, she has never. Nicki Minaj has never slept around in the industry. You haven't heard this guy saying, we smash Nicki, we smash Nicki, you haven't. You haven't. She dates one guy at a time. And if that relationship doesn't work out, she doesn't jump into another relationship. She paces herself, right? Then Nicki got married to Kenneth Petty. Many people don't even understand the story of Kenneth Petty, but she was judged for marrying that man. Do I understand why she's being judged? Of course I do. I'm not slow to it. I understand it. But I was also disappointed in Nicki for when she initially married Kenneth Petty. But then, after I learned that the allegations against Kenneth Petty, it weren't as the public was displaying it, and when I came across some of the records for myself to read, and I learned that he was a minor, the young lady was a minor, and he was accused of doing something that he's saying that he didn't do, that the young lady family is saying he did, right? Nicki knew Kenneth Petty ever since they were about 4 or 5 years old, right? So no one knows Kenneth Petty better than Nicki. We don't know him better than how Nicki does. Kenneth Petty and Nicki grew up together. And let's say, for example, the allegations against Kenneth Petty are factual, and it is as 100% as it was laid out, I can say Nicki Minaj, it is her decision to look into that and to say, you know what? He has done the crime. He has done the time. He was a child. He's a lot older, and, he's not going to do that again. She took the chance and she said she knows he's innocent. That's what Nicki said. When she said she knows he's innocent, we said it's going to ruin her career. And has it caused a dent in her career? Yes, it has. But also at the same time, do we see Kenneth Petty's name out here in the streets? Absolutely not. No, we don't. We don't. We don't see Kenneth Petty's name out here in the streets. We've never seen Nicki with bruises. We've never heard that Kenneth Petty's out here cheating on Nicki Minaj. We've never heard that Kenneth Petty is spending Nicki's money on other women and those stuff. We haven't heard those things. Not saying that they may not have marital problems, but we haven't heard any mess about Kenneth Petty in the streets. And wherever Nicki goes, what I've always seen is a man that is extremely protective of his wife. That is one thing I've always observed. When they come to the Caribbean Carnival, that man is guarding his wife with his body and his life. Everywhere else, he's guarding his wife with his body and his life. And that is the true essence of Caribbean people, family, husband, wife, and kids. But because so many cultures over the years of internet and social media has penetrated the Caribbean culture, a lot of Caribbean people are straying away from how they were cultured. But to see that Nicki hasn't strayed from it, it is something that is truly admirable. She hasn't strayed from it. And if you look at Riri also, she was young and, she dated and all of that. But the moment that Rihanna started having kids, you never saw Riri going from A$AP Rocky to another guy, to another guy, to another guy, to another guy. So you see Riri displaying that Caribbean tradition of family. That is how we were cultured. You don't run around, even though some of us don't stick to what our parents and our grandparents have cultured us in. Many of us don't stick to it. But if many of us did, our lives would have been a lot better. So with Nicki, you're going to find that a lot of people, especially the Christian world, they're going to gravitate more towards Nicki Minaj. Because Nicki Minaj, ever since her career, up to this point, she has always been God-centric. Even when she was out there popping and shaking it, my anaconda, she has never left God a day out of her career. Never. And she just doesn't go and just say, thank God. Every album, there's a dedication. She remembers. And as such, this is why people like Nicki will always be an exemplary figure for me, because she's not loosey-goosey. She's not running wild. They say her husband has a reputation, but he's far better than a lot of husbands who don't have a reputation. And as such, hence why Nicki will always be an admirable individual for me and many other people. And that's just how it is. So it's not that I'm hypocritical. It's just what it is. Nicki reminds me of our culture, how we were cultured, and that's just the truth. Okay.